we're going to actually try to create an HTML and have it interact a little bit more with our JavaScript. So we're going to create a form with an input and a button, and have a function attached to this button when we click it, so it prints out something to our console log for starters, and then we're going to change that a little bit later. Back to our WebStorm, we're going to add a form in our WebStorm, of course. So we don't need the action, but we do need the name. So name equals, just call it form. So we have this, so form, and then having the HTML attribute of name and then form. And in this one, we're just going to enter some stuff here. So this is just a piece of line of code that will actually declare. So, and we're going to create a breakpoint as well. So break the line. Next part, we need a input field. So input like this. So type input, and in this input field, we want a name as well. And we're just going to use the one called sum1, like this. So the sum1 is actually the name of our input field, which we're going to be using in our JavaScript code to actually go to a specific place, so it knows where to catch the data we're going to use. Form, it's form, that's not the form, we want a button. And on this button, let's go click me, so we can see the button here. And as I mentioned earlier, we wanted to, once you click the button, we want something to happen. So we're going to create a on-click event. So once you click the button, go to a function. And the function is just going to be called new stuff here. So the function new stuff is what we need to create in our JavaScript. And that's where we're going to tell the system what to do. So let's just click save, see what it actually does to our page. So we have text up here, we have a input field and a button. So nothing happens. Well, it says something happens over there, but really does nothing. Just using the standard HTML, so very static. But this is now ready, so we're going to click save and go to your main.js file. In here, we're going to create our function called new stuff that we created in our, well, not we created, that we're trying to call through our HTML. And in this one, we're just going to create a variable where we can store our the input that we get from this one here. So whatever we are typing here, we want to store this input so we can show it again somewhere else or change something or something. So we're going to create a variable called stored data, or stored input. That's probably a better word, stored input in this case. And we're just going to type in like we did with our, when we, instead of using console log, remember I showed you how to do the document get element by ID and then put it in here. And we're also going to call the document, because the document is the HTML page, and we want the system to go into this and start searching for whatever we want. So we want it first to go to the HTML, then we want to search for the form, which is here. Remember the name, the form, and everything. That's the first part. The next part is, now we tell the system go to the document, this is this, go to the form, whoop-de-doo, with the form name, and then we want to grab the information from the input. So whatever we type in, that's what the information we want to tell the JavaScript to grab and store. So we wanted to grab from the input field with a name called sum1. That's a weird name actually, sum1. So sum1 like this. That's what we're gonna tell, this is where it needs to go. So now it's in the specific place. How do we actually tell the JavaScript to like get the data? And we use the method here or property called value. So value will grab whatever value it's in it. So that's a word for grabbing and storing this. So this will take all the information in the input field and store it in the variable called stored input. Cool. Let's try to print out this. So let's do console log and stored input. So we want to print out whatever is being stored in here, right? So whatever we type, let's just go refresh. So whatever we type should be printed over here as well. So let's try and do a hello. Click me. And it kind of just disappeared really quick, but that's because of my Chrome is being a tool. and it's kind of buggy, but you can see it was over there real fast. Let's just try this again, index.html. I don't know why my Chrome is so annoying at times. Let's see if it does better now. You can see just said, yours shouldn't do this. It's a glitch in my Chrome, but it's gonna use and store the information, and then we can use this. So this is a way of creating a connection between our HTML and JavaScript, and once you do something on your in your HTML here, we're telling JavaScript to do something behind the scene and storing the information here. So that's a simple way of storing information from a input field in our case, and in the next one we're going to use it a little bit more, and we're also going to be using a if-else statement along with this newly created function here.